Hey everyone, it's me, Jay!
It's Jay and it's Sean.
And we owe you a bit of an apology and maybe even a bit of an explanation because we disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, we were still right here.
We were, but nobody was looking.
No.
And good for you because you missed some pretty gruesome stuff. So you may or may not know that I have kind of a terrible autoimmune disorder where lots of really fun tumors grow all over my body and cause me untold pain. And this is what was happening in the winter and spring of this year, and eventually it was so painful that I really couldn't do anything, which is when the surgeries started. So I ended up having 3 surgeries in a row.
In 6 weeks.
Yeah. To take out a lot of these tumors. So I ended up with 5 big holes in my body. And and I've been recovering ever since.
And still.
And still, for sure, yes. So one of the problems was there were tumors under my arm, which made it virtually impossible for me to type or do anything on the computer. Basically, I've just been in bed trying and failing to sleep for like 3 months. So it has been a long recovery road, as they are allowed to be. That's okay, because I am healing. I'm healing really well.
Very well.
Very
like
well.
A pro.
I have done this untold amount of times before, so I should be really good at it, shouldn't I?
Yeah. And you are.
And I am, yes. So we're trying to be back. I would say I've been trying to be back for at least a month though, so no promises. But the good news is, or the news that may not surprise you is, just because I haven't been writing or talking about movies doesn't mean we haven't been watching them. We just can't help ourselves. Now, there are certainly some movies that I understood not as well as I might normally have due to lack of sleep, immense pain, and some medication, not gonna lie. But here are some that I think we did get a good grasp on. So let's just go through some of the most recent movies out there, or some of the biggest movies that we missed, and see what we think. Now, we both have terrible memories, so this is gonna be fun. Let's start one with, it came onto Amazon Prime actually just a short while ago. It's called The Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pratt, and a guy we've come to know and like quite a lot, Sam Richardson. So what'd you think about that movie, Sean?
It's pretty bad.
Oh, you thought so, eh?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a pretty mediocre entry into the action, future, time travel, war phenomenon.
Okay. I mean, I can't disagree with what you just said. It is unspectacular and probably unmemorable long term. But I thought it was a decent popcorn flick.
It is, but you can't think about it because it's such a dumb premise.
Well, okay, yes, the paradoxes abound. Even though it is also kind of a movie about paradoxes and how we're avoiding paradoxes, it does not avoid all of the paradoxes.
It doesn't even try.
No. So if you haven't seen it, maybe you haven't even heard about it, it's on Amazon Prime, starring Chris Pratt. It's about, just a guy going about his normal life, feeling a bit like a failure, when all of a sudden the world is besieged by these time travelers. People a lot like you and I, in fact, people who might in fact be you and I just 30, 40 years in the future.
Yeah.
Not very far in the future. And they are here to say that in about 10 years, the world is going to be attacked by aliens. And we are going to be fighting a global war just to save the Earthlings. And the thing is, they've obviously been fighting quite some time, and they are failing.
There's barely anyone left.
There's barely anyone left. They know they are failing, and so they have come back to ask for present day's help. Now, the war has not started in present day, so present day has to time travel to that future moment. And they're recruiting, drafting people from all over the world and sending them just for a 1-week tour of duty, from which very few people return. This is a big bloody war. The aliens are a formidable enemy.
They are. They're very tough. They're hard to kill.
They're
They
tough.
take out a
They're
lot of
scary.
people.
Yeah. The whole shebang.
They're so scary they won't even show the recruits what these things look
That's
like.
right.
Which is not a good way to go into a war.
It's not, but I mean, this was a losing war anyways.
Yeah, which is like the whole thing is, don't take the people from the present into the future. Train the people in the present, build
to
up
be
for
better.
30 years, and then fight and win the war that way.
Oh.
But no one thought of this.
Well, and you didn't speak up, apparently.
I didn't have time. Too much was happening. They just went in the future before I could even stop them.
Okay, well, next time. You'll get them next time. So Sean apparently thought it was a little disagreeable. I thought it was decent. We kind of have been lacking this type of big action movie.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a great movie, but I thought, you know what, if you're in the mood for that kind of thing, it'll get the job done.
And Sam Richardson is good. He's
so
good.
funny, that guy.
Yeah, he is funny.
Yeah. So, okay, did you like this more or less than Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead?
Oh.
Ooh, so this one's on Netflix. That's been out for, what, a month at least? It's been out for a while.
I guess I'm going to have to give it to Zack Snyder, which I don't like to do.
Okay.
I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan, but that movie was, I think, the better action movie of the two.
Okay. So it's, so Las Vegas, basically, the aliens there, no, they're not aliens, they're zombies, of course. They're zombies, some of them very vicious zombies. There's like levels of zombies.
There are,
in
depending
this
on how close
scenario.
you are to the alpha zombie or something.
And so they've got a lot of them sort of cordoned off in Vegas.
Well, the idea is that they cordoned all of them off. Like they sealed off the entire city.
They built a wall.
And then just left it. So they guard the perimeter. But then, guess what?
Although not that well.
They sneak in all the time.
You know, why build this? Like, who is guarding this? It should be actually really easy to guard this. And yet, who's going to sneak in?
A whole bunch of people. Dave Bautista and friends.
And daughter.
And daughter.
Not his real daughter, but his movie daughter. Yeah. Yeah. For a heist, they have to go in.
Because there's money in Vegas.
Who would have seen this coming?
Let's go into the vault underneath the casino. We're gonna be rich.
How much money? Well, I guess they know how much money it takes to brave a horde of zombies.
Yeah, it's not that much. Like, yeah, it's 200 and something million.
It sounds like a lot, but they were like 9 people. Yeah, exactly. Split that many ways.
Plus, they're not even keeping most of it because it's going to the mastermind. That's right.
But
it's
still,
not worth it.
You would say you like this one better than...
I would say, yeah, if you're looking for a dumb action movie, this is probably the better of the two. Because the Tomorrow War is like... It just doesn't make sense at all. Whereas this is like, well, it's zombies.
Yeah, like you're like, I love the logic of the zombie movie better than the alien movie.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with that. So that tells you about the Tomorrow War, I think, more than anything.
Thank you. And Tig Notaro was in Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm sure you're going to tell us about it.
Well, I will tell you, like, they spent millions of dollars just to CGI her in because she was replacing a certain comic, Chris D'Elia, who, you know, couldn't keep his pecker in his pants.
Literally.
So, yes, of course. They had to swap them out. She didn't get to act along any human being. She was just alone in front of a green screen pretending.
I would like to see that footage.
Yes,
but it's not even noticeable.
No, they did a very
good
job, I have to say. It is pretty seamless. And she does kind of have an outsider's role, so it's more naturally occurring that way, I guess. But I love Tig Notaro, so I was kind of glad to see her.
She's definiting an upgrade from Chris
I know, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Even if he was not a pervert.
Yeah.
Just all things being equal.
Yeah, she's
or if
funnier.
she was also a pervert.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's just a funnier, better comedian, and I'm gladder to see her in a movie. Okay, over to Disney Plus. How about that Cruella?
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's been a while now since we've seen that.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I think that was a decent movie. I don't have a lot to say about it, I suppose.
Okay.
It didn't blow me away, but
Okay.
it's better than I thought it might be.
Okay. I think if this was just a standalone movie that had little to do with any other Disney property, I would have really liked this movie. I thought Emma Stone as Cruella and Emma Thompson as her boss,
Yep.
the
They're
devil wearing
good
Prada.
together.
They're very good. They're both good on their own. They're good together as like friends, frenemies, enemies, whatever. There's an
a whole
evolution.
thing, yeah.
But as a prequel to 101 Dalmatians, as a Cruella origin story, I thought it didn't really make that much sense.
No.
Because they make an attempt to explain how a woman could just hate Dalmatians, who would sacrifice this many puppies, who would just slaughter them. Like, that is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But I think, first of all, let's not explain that. I don't think it is an explainable thing, and I think that's why Cruella is a great villain, because she's just this unhinged woman who's still really fabulous and well put together. And so you, like, fear her, admire her. She's, like, oddly complex for kind of a one-note woman in a cartoon, right? And so I think trying to explain it in this movie, and they do, they make some weird turnarounds trying to explain where her hatred, I mean, it's worse. It's worse than saying nothing at all. Everything they do to try to address her anger with Dalmatians, her anger in general even, it really comes up short, I think.
Well, as you said, it doesn't explain the 101 Dalmatians at all. So, yeah, it doesn't function as a prequel.
No.
I totally agree with that.
But I love the costuming.
Oh, very much.
Yes. So all of the designs, of course, both Cruella and her mentor, played by Emma Thompson, are designers, and they really do come up with a lot of cool shit.
Yeah,
and then
because they get into like a one-up war.
Fashion war, yes. Where Cruella, as sort of an anonymous rebel, kind of hits the fashion scene and disrupts things. And I liked that. I really liked that about her. And I just didn't need all this puppy nonsense. And you know me, I love puppies, but I just feel like everything they tried to shoehorn in about that took away from the film. Of course, other people had some problems with the film in the same way they had problems with Joker, the movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. Of course, I loved that movie. I thought it was brilliant. But I do agree that it does have some questionable things to say about mental health, and so does Cruella. Yeah, and I mean, maybe we can't always expect movies to be responsible and scientifically accurate in their portrayals of mental health. They are not in Cruella. They definitely aren't. A lot of things don't make sense in Cruella. So you've got to just take the movie for what it is. A piece of fashion, a piece of art, a really nice vehicle for Emma Stone. And you either will enjoy it or you won't, on that basis. Not as a pamphlet for mental health. Okay, In the Heights. In the Heights we watched. Oh, I was looking forward to that.
You were.
So hard.
I don't think you were disappointed either.
No, of course, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda, based on his musical. He's adapting it to the screen. John M. Chu, who was the director for Crazy Rich Asians, putting them together into a movie musical extravaganza starring Anthony Ramos, whom I love, and setting it in a blackout that you and I both experienced separately at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other yet, and in separate cities, neither of us in the Heights. Not those Heights.
No.
But yeah, that blackout got a bunch of us.
Yeah, it was the entire East Coast, I think. Most of it, anyway.
It was a whole lot of us, maybe even you. Let us know in the comments if you did it too. So I thought that was kind of a cool angle, because I always liked the, I know where I was when they were in the Heights.
Yeah, well, that's one of those memorable things. You do remember where you were when the lights went out.
And then they stayed out for days. They stayed out for days. And it was super hot July.
Yeah.
So we really missed our air conditioning.
Yep.
It was
Fortunately, I lived in a basement at the time.
Oh, that is very fortunate.
Yeah. So I was nice and cool, but not on the walk home.
Oh, boy.
No subways.
Oh, jeez.
Bus lines for days.
I bet.
Yeah. It was a lot. But then you could get free ice cream on the way home because people were handing it out.
Oh, I guess, because it was going.
Melting.
Yeah.
So,
well, pros and cons. Okay, so back over to Disney Plus, we did watch Luca.
Yes, we did.
Ooh, Luca.
The latest Pixar movie.
That's
for
right.
Free.
For free, that's right.
With your Disney
with a subscription. But we paid extra for Cruella. We did not pay extra for Luca, and we would have.
Yeah.
So in the succession of like toys have feelings and cars have feelings and then feelings have feelings and now guess who has feelings? Italians. Oh, we didn't see it coming. But apparently they feel the feels also over there.
It does seem that way, yes.
So how'd you like that one?
It was pretty good. I feel like I would have been disappointed with it in a theater.
Okay.
It's not a big movie.
Right.
It's a very small story about 3 kids, basically. And really two sea monsters. Spoiler, maybe?
Okay, monsters is harsh.
Aren't they called sea monsters? Okay.
Well, it depends who's calling them that.
You're
I don't
right.
think his mother called them a monster. Jeez, Sean. Gotta watch those slurs.
Yeah, I do.
And, you know, they take on human form when they come out of the water, and they meet a little girl. And their lives are changed for the better.
Mostly.
Well, okay, fair enough.
They learn lessons and stuff.
They do. It's a nice little tale about friendship and accepting people who are different than you.
Yeah, there is a whole thing you can get into there for sure.
And also how kids do it more easily than adults.
That's absolutely true.
Hatred is learned.
Yep.
Oh, Luca. Anyways, it is a very cute film. It is very well drawn. I loved the look of the film, the feel of the film. But it does kind of feel like a minor Pixar film.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is still saying quite something because, you know, in the canon of Pixar, there are no bad eggs.
But this one is probably more forgettable than most.
Yeah, there you go.
Fades into the background.
Fades. So this one is an older movie, but we just got to see it. It's A Quiet Place 2, and it has recently, just this weekend, hit Amazon Prime. So if you have a subscription, you can watch that one for free there. So it was in theaters, and it set pandemic records when it came out.
But not here.
That was not saying much. No, we didn't have any theaters open.
Oh, they were all closed.
You know, then F9 came and shattered everything. Then Black Widow came and shattered. Now, you know, every new opening.
Is going to shatter everything, yes.
But A Quiet Place 2, what did you think?
I really liked it.
Me too. And I was like ready to be kind of disappointed because A Quiet Place was, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it was definitely refreshing in the genre of horror. And it, you know, it did do its own thing. It took sound and noise, and not only was that a plot point in the movie, but it experimented with how we experience, you know, I think loud noises, sudden noises, creeping music, that's a big part of horror movies.
Yep.
And so can they accomplish the same thing when they kept it very quiet? And one of the characters, the daughter played by Millicent Simmons, is deaf both in the movie and in real life. And so the movie alternated between full sound and then experiencing it from her ears, which was completely quiet, completely soundless, and yet still insanely creepy. So can they recapture that magic, and will it be diluted now that we've already experienced it? Well, they can recapture it. It probably is a bit diluted, but
it still works.
It does still work, but the movie works, I think, because they don't just rely on that. They are widening the environment of these characters. They leave their homestead, which is how they have survived thus far. I think it's only been a year and a half. I'm sure
it's not that long.
Has felt a lot longer to them. But they survived out there, you know, doing everything the same. They had every safety precaution. But it's no longer safe. The John Krasinski dad character died in the first one. So they have to set out on their own. So it's mom, Emily Blunt, the 2 kids, Millicent Simmons, Noah Jupe, And a newborn baby. Oh, goodness.
Suitcase baby.
Yeah. This is quite a ruffle in their plans.
Yeah.
A wrinkle. A wrinkle in their plans. It's a tough road to hoe with a baby.
Yep.
So they set out and they start meeting other survivors. There are not many, it seems, but they do meet some other survivors. But of course, they have to consider whether it is only the aliens who are to be feared or whether these other survivors who are, you know, pretty ruthless, doing anything they can to make sure they're the ones to survive. Can they be trusted?
No.
You know.
No, they can't.
Upon whom can we rely in the apocalypse? Well,
it's a short list.
It is a short list. But I really liked it. I thought there were a lot of cool stylistic choices. I really liked that we played with things like fire and water. We really did broaden the environment in every sense of the word.
Yep.
And even like breathlessness. Of course, we saw that a little bit in the previous film with the baby who was going to need to wear the oxygen mask just to be in this airless picnic basket. But yeah, that they upped the ante on that. And the beginning of the movie shows us a little bit of what it was like on day one of this, you know, massacre.
Monster pandemic.
Yeah, that's right. So it was kind of cool to get to see that. And to get to see John Krasinski again, because he was still alive back there.
He snuck himself into the movie.
He did. And I thought, very sadly, we're reminded that there was a third son who died in the first movie. And I did remember that whenever I was like, oh yeah, oh my God. They've lost so much and now they have a new baby again. Oh my goodness, this family.
The circle of life.
Oh, so that's on Amazon Prime. And then we'll go back to Disney Plus because last weekend they released Black Widow. So you could check her out in theaters, but you can also pay a little extra and see her on Disney Plus. Sean, what'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was a good action movie. I think it's a weird time for that movie to come out because we already killed off Black Widow. Mm-hmm. But still, I think is a good addition to the MCU. Mm-hmm. And obviously, as they do, this film is going to be important in the future. We're going to come back to it, I'm sure.
You think we're going to come back to these characters?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So
indeed.
Black Widow's out, but some of the Black Widow people might be in.
They might be in.
They're introducing.
Because we do learn Black Widow is not the only Black Widow. There's tons of them.
There are tons of them, yes.
Just going around killing people.
Mm-hmm. So she was trained in something called the Red Room. And yeah, it turned out quite a few people like her.
Yep.
She's not special.
Well, she is special. She's the only one that became an Avenger.
She's the only one who got an American accent.
Yeah, that's true.
So we learn a little bit about her family.
Yep.
Of origin, of convenience. Her family, anyways. Her mom, her dad, and her sister. So David Harbour plays the dad and his own kind of super villain.
Hero-ish, yeah.
Something.
He's a Russian hero, so...
Well, that is the thing. It depends where you're from. You're a hero in your own country, aren't you?
Yep.
Rachel Weisz plays the mom, and Florence Pugh plays the sister. Wow, is she good in this?
Yes, she is.
I thought she was really the standout.
Yes, she is.
She was good because she provides a lot of the funny, lighthearted moments, but she does really well in some very powerful emotional moments because they went through a lot, these girls, as very young girls.
Yeah.
And, you know, she could poke fun at her sister. And there were a few, I want to say callbacks, but really they're called forwards because this is a prequel, but... You know, we see some things originating in this film that we saw later on in other films, but we've seen them in the past. Anyways, it's complicated.
Yeah, just wait until we get into this whole Kang time travel thing.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to.
I know.
Anyways, we survived it. You enjoyed it.
I did.
I didn't love it so much. And I hate to have to say that because it's a female superhero and a female director and yada, yada, yada. I really want to be able to support this stuff, but I thought it was a little boring and a little convoluted.
Well, you can't hold back if it's not a great movie.
That's the thing. But you thought it was good and I didn't.
I thought it was good, yeah.
And he's the guy who likes superhero movies. So,
yeah, it's a good action one.
If you like them.
It's along the lines of the Captain America movies. I'm sure that's what they were going for, of big action set pieces and floating cities in the sky, etc.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah.
So, Space Jam: A New Legacy is out in theaters right now. We have not seen that one yet.
Nope.
Surprisingly, Mr. Space Jam right here
Mr. Space Jam.
has not made us watch it yet.
It's true.
Weird.
Yeah.
July 30th, Jungle Cruise is finally coming out.
Delayed a full year or more.
That's right. It's so crazy. We'll see Annette, the one with Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, so I'm excited about that. August 6th, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, James Gunn's version.
Yes.
So a reboot / sequel to the who is
Suicide
that?
Squad.
David
Ayer.
Ayer, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we might see that one a little early because it's premiering at Montreal's Fantasia Film Festival.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's exciting.
Although we may be at the cottage, so we may not see it. I don't know. I haven't looked
We'll
at
have
the
to
dates.
figure
You
it
know,
out.
I just lost a week in my summer. I thought I had more weeks than I did. It happens.
It does. It's
It does.
disappointing.
Free Guy, August 13th.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I knew you would be. Candyman, August 27th. Been waiting a long time on that one.
Absolutely.
Shang-Chi, September 3rd.
Very excited about that.
Yes. Now, people think they've spotted Abomination in the trailer. But what would that mean? Like, we're getting a lot of big villains lately.
Yeah.
We're a little worried about all the things that are coming out. And perhaps She-Hulk in that one?
Could be.
People are spotting some stuff in
Abomination
that
is a Hulk
trailer.
villain,
Well,
so if She-Hulk is going to come in,
there you go.
that would make sense.
Okay. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage follows in September 24th. Finally, the James Bond in October, No Time to Die. Dune also in October, the 22nd.
Dune, yes.
Yeah. The French Dispatch, it just premiered in Cannes, got an extended ovation, which Cannes is famous for, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing ever, but I'm sure it is. That's October 22nd. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Did you even remember that one?
No.
This is so far back now. That's November 11th. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
November 19th. And then in December, we'll see Spielberg's West Side Story, Spider-Man No Way Home,
Oh, yeah.
and The Matrix 4.
Oh, I forgot about that one, too.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy what's piled up. That's what's waiting for us.
It's busy.
It's crowded because then there's all sorts of regular movies releasing in between those as well. So the box office is seeing a good, healthy resurgence. We're not back to pre-pandemic numbers yet, but they're climbing. People are excited to get back to movies.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm just excited to get back to life. I'll take that. I have not been in a theater. We've seen all of these movies either at home or at festivals. So we've been very lucky to be able to check them out that way. And I hope we will be for a time yet. But yeah, that's what we've been up to. Being sore.
One of us.
One of us. Here, there's me. This is a big under my arm scar. This guy. That's why I haven't left comments on your page. Sorry. It does legit hurt though.
Yes. I think that's obvious.
Is it? Sean has been the nurse
True.
doing all of my extensive bandage
changes.
on all of, I have 5 of those all over the place. So he has been very busy. But now we're in the silicone stage trying to rub the scars away.
Yeah, that's
Apparently.
science. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being patient with us. I hope this means we are back for good. And we have been watching and enjoying so many of your videos. They have gotten me through some pretty boring days. So thank you for that. And thank you for waiting for us. And thanks for tuning back in, because that's really kind of awesome of you. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.